All right, we've got to move on. We've got to move to the mailbag. So, and you're talking about Bathurst. The fans make up the Bathurst. What's the wildest thing you've all seen off track?
Off track? Goodness me.
There's
one
a
of you
guy
boys
going
start.
up
I've got some. I'm just trying to work out whether it's above
There's
board
a
or
guy
not.
going up Mountain Straight that was there. He was certainly there in 23 when I was with Reynolds. We were going up Mountain Straight, and he had not much on, but a pair of like red Speedos and sort of like a superhero mask on, and that was it. And I'm not going to say he was the fittest guy in the world. Like, there was a fair bit of body movement going on when he was sort of doing the jig, and he was standing on top of this, and like this on the driver's parade. You know what the driver's parade's like. And that was pretty wild. Like, for a modern one, that was pretty wild. I don't really want to see that too often in my life.
Listen, did you win in 2000? Was that the wet year, GT?
2000,
This isn't modern day, is it? I was a kid in Formula Ford, but it was like my first time there, and I just remember being down where the now hotel is, I think maybe on the Sunday night, and there was just this tractor coming down with like this man-made esky trailer, and there was just bodies, like couldn't even see their skin. They'd obviously been having mudslides all weekend, and they were just dumped on top of each other about 4 high, just hanging off the back of this trailer. And I'm like, what on earth is going on up there? Like, that was an eye-opener, but I don't know.
I remember early days, Lowndes, you remember this, like my first year was 98, and the mountain was still pretty wild back then. And I remember it might have been the first year, 98, and we were staying in town, and you look up at the mountain
The
where
flames,
the track is,
the couch is burning.
And it was like orange. Yeah, like the top of the mountain's glowing, and the whole joint's on fire. And it was like, man, I'm not going anywhere. The first time I actually went to the top of the mountain was like 2011. Like, it took me that long to be brave enough to go up there.
I've got a funny story
When
actually
you break
going up
down
the top
at the
of the
top,
mountain.
you roll to the bottom.
Me and Jamie, actually, he'll laugh at this. So we were both pretty young, and our main drivers, yourself, CL, I think it was 06 or 07, and Stevie J were in the shootout. So we're like, oh, let's just grab a scooter. What a great idea. Let's get up. It was 07, so Jamie had already won Bathurst with you in 06, but we didn't really think anyone knew who we were. And we got halfway up, I think, just to about Sulman Park, and this mob of people just started seeing Jamie. We're on this scooter and just started like pegging rocks at him, like trying to rip us off the scooter. And literally, no word of it, like joke, like we've literally done like a donut. He's like, quick, let's get out of here. Like, it was getting violent, and we've just pinned it down to the chase and watched there, which is there's another story when we got to the chase, but I'll leave that for another time.
I tried really hard to hit him with that rock too, but anyway.
Impressive. You were driving. Didn't you get pole in 07? Driving and pinging rocks.
I was throwing rocks at you, I throw rocks at him.
Who polled 07? It was one of your Walkinshaw.
Frosty, I think, did.
Yeah, I polled 07.
Frosty did.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, Frosty did.
Yeah.
I was watching you boys through the chase.
Slid
And
off
like
the
one
brake
day,
pedal at the
one
chase.
day
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
going to do a shootout there. It's so good standing on the outside of the chase, isn't it?
It is.
When you're at that little camp spot there, just seeing them. They used to be bouncing on the rev limiter, bouncing through there. I miss that, actually.
Lounsey,
Yes.
you would have seen some wild stuff in your time at the mountain.
Oh, can you imagine?
Well,
Come on.
What rating are we? Actually.
No, come on, we're all adults here.
Yeah, no. We've got some.
Tenfold on anyone, your fan base, Lindsay. I can't imagine what you've had to do
Actually,
with.
I had a mate, and he just reminded me the other day that he came to Bathurst in the early days, but he had a friend that came out from the UK. And, of course, you remember when you used to drive to the top? Well, you probably don't, Will. But when you used to drive to the top, they used to have, like, little checkpoints. But it was the fans that were the checkpoints. And if you didn't do a big enough burnout that either turn your car upside down or set it alight. But he didn't. He was from England. So my mate going, well, you got to do a burnout. And he's thinking they're going to burn my car out. So he actually drove straight through the first checkpoint, shit himself. And then he goes, no. And then the crowd was starting to get irate, like him just absolutely blowing through the first checkpoint. So then he finally did it. Must have done a decent burnout and got to the top. But he was just blown away by how, I suppose, like the Mad Max version was up at the top. Like this, like when I suppose we always used to talk about, like, if you're a female back in that day, you never went to the top of the mountain because you never come back.
Yes, no, it's probably a good thing.
But it is much better. We're talking about the old. We're talking about the old.
talking about
It's
way
very
old
family
days.
friendly up there now, isn't it? It's
Much
still got its
better now.
character.
It's
very
There's
flushed down
children,
the
there's
bottom
wives
too.
up there.
Well, I
Families.
remember in I came back from Europe in 97 and I crashed at the top of the mountain following scathe. And I got into the police compound, which is still up there, but it's obviously now much bigger. They got a new one. But I went into the police compound. They got all this 6-foot cyclone fencing and barbed wire at the top. And bugger me, when I went inside to wait for the transport to come back down, They're all sitting and they're having all this food that was in this long trestle. And I said, what are you guys doing? He goes, well, we're just sitting here. It's like basically our holiday. We don't really give a hoot what's going on out there. And I think that's what sort of the mentality was. Like, they just didn't really care. So it was wild and wonderful back then. But yes, you're right, Garth.
And now it's very
changed.
family friendly.
Yes, it
with
is.
a touch of Bathurst.
Yep.
So getting to that, so Bailey sent in a question. Do you have a favourite Bathurst moment that isn't yours?
Let's cross to Melbourne.
Oh.
Well, you can't keep doing that. Like, oh, hang on a minute, I'll think about it while
It's like
they're
the weather
answering.
guy, isn't he? He's like the weather guy. I'll go back to you, Koshy.
No, I'm just intrigued. I'm looking forward to this.
Bathurst moment that's not
Not your own.
mine.
Mine's Jim Richards with, pockets full of cans. Or was that Scaife with him?
No, well, Scaife was the one loaded with the cans.
Yes.
He
Scaife,
was
okay.
pinging them at the crowd.
Yeah, no,
Scaife.
'cause Jimmy was
can't
all
imagine
fired up.
Scaife up for. Can't imagine Scaife up for a fight.
I still feel DJ was robbed, back in that day. Complaining on three wheels, wasn't it? On the red flag.
love that the guy that's so quiet and so calm and so in control goes out on the podium and calls them a pack of arseholes.
This is going to remain with me for a long time. You're a pack of arseholes.
So I thought that was.
Sums up Gentleman Jim, though, doesn't
That
it?
was, as a kid, I was about 14 or 15 then. I was like, man, that's cool.
I love it, though, because he was
And
such a
the fact
gentleman,
that's in
but he
that-
was such
Yeah.
an
They're
amazing
They're using that in the ad
animal of a
this year
racer.
as well.
Are they?
They're
It's
using
a
that in the
classic
Repco
line
ad
at
this
the end.
year.
Can someone,
Yeah, it's great.
whoever wins this year, come we come up with, not copying it, but something, I don't know,
We need the Tui's
get
beer
Richo
cans as
up
well
there,
in
man.
Scafie's jacket.
throw out some kombucha cans these days. I don't know.
Oh no, Scafie now he'd have like $100 bottles of red tucked down in his jacket.
Mini Grangers.
Mini Grangers.
Like mini bar Grange.
Well, we still haven't answered this question. What's the one that not yours, but someone else's?
Goodness, too many. I don't know.
You know what I do find myself doing is going back and looking at shootout laps.
Yeah, they are.
From like as early as you can find on YouTube. So like there's a really cool one of Brock in the
92,
Mobile
is that what you're
Commodore. I
thinking?
think it's a VN.
Yeah.
And he's completely out of
Is
control.
that where he drops
like
a wheel
typical
out of
Brock.
McPhillamy, that one?
Yeah, all that
No
one.
power
He's
steering into the
completely out
cutting.
of control. Yeah, that's what I find myself reminiscing and looking at is that era of Bathurst and really like, man, that was cool. And then Brock coming back and laughing about it.
And just those Sierras when they're at full boost down the end of Conrod.
Yeah, yeah, it's
And
like-
hearing them come on
I
like a
reckon
light
that. Remember
switch.
that the Texaco ones, the 1987,
Edinburghers, wasn't it?
87, the
Yep.
Texaco with the cheating fuel or whatever they had.
Yeah,
that
the-
was
No, what-
refuel looked like
wheelbase?
he
Was it
worked
the
at
track?
NASA.
Yeah.
GT?
Inner guards.
Inner guards?
What's that, mate?
No, the
Yeah,
Texaco Sierras that got done in 87. That was
Yeah,
the
they-
wheelbase or the guards, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
inner guards.
The guards, they had massive tyres on them. Yeah, yeah.
But how good's the evolution of cameras? Like you talk about Brock, about Dick. I remember they were talking to Dick down into the chase and the rear wing collapsed.
We were just talking to you. We felt sorry that we might have put you off, but it looked like the rear wings collapsed on the car.
Certainly has, Michael. And I tell you, it's like a fly swat without it. I can give you the mail order.
Sprint race,
Yeah.
not the 1000.
Yeah, I
was a
know, but
sprint
it's still
race.
one of those
Yeah,
moments.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you're not going any slower, I guess. If it's a sprint race of the 1,000.
No,
Still going to get your
100%.
attention when the wing falls off it.
Yeah. But
You know
listen,
what?
06
I
was
reckon-
pretty special. Lowndesy, I'm going to just go with that one.
Oh, okay.
06 watching you under the pump there. I remember that last stint I was out of the race. I think I was, 5 or 6 drinks down at the chase there. We went out very early in the race, Stevie J. But seeing Repco, I just remember those laps, qualifying lap, going, I want to be a part of a finish like that one day. It really encaptured what that race is about, the emotion I knew that day, seeing you and Jamie that morning on the grid, I remember it. But just seeing this Rick, the strengths and weaknesses in the cars. I think you had big top end on you. You were quick over the top. I love that the cars were doing the same lap time in a pretty different way.
Yeah.
I just remember tuning in, loving that.
And while we were still hanging Scaife, he was by that time, he was back in Melbourne, I think because he had literally got the first 300, 400 metres around the corner and it all turned to...
Yeah, I was sharing with him.
I
I was
was
sharing it with him in
That
that
was
one.
the race you guys
Rode the clutch
And
too
not
well.
only did the clutch fail, then Scaife got the helicopter home. I had to drive home. So it's actually incredible how few cars are on the road from Bathurst to Melbourne on Bathurst Sunday
Funny
during the
that.
day. I actually stopped to get fuel halfway home, whatever is Gundagai or something like that, and the guy in the servo goes, "Shouldn't you be in the race?" Yeah, long story, buddy, and kept going.
But
Speaking about like the Bathurst, speaking about those Bathurst, some of our best races have been, I reckon some of the best drives that we've all done have been at Bathurst. That one in 19, Wilbur, I said it to you at the time. I reckon that is your best drive by a long way. Like to hold off gears at the end.
16.
Yep. Oh, sorry, 16, sorry.
Yep.
16.
He's done it. Will Davison is going to win the 2016 race.
That was a massive drive. And then you holding off Lowndesy in 09?
Oh, yeah.
11, that one.
Far out. I'm really
11.
bad at stats.
Yeah.
This is the year of the rookie and the pro, Tander and Nick Percat.
I remember watching them, but some of those hold-offs that both you guys did at that time, like that one for you, Will, but that was huge. I thought that was your best drive I've ever seen. You're an amazing driver. We've been teammates, but that drive that day was pretty epic.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Anyway,
Yeah, but Bathurst does that. You did it. You did it with Frosty did it with Jamie when you had your win. Lowndes, you talked about Rick, and you've had 7 of them. So Wilbur's one. I mean, I've had a couple that have been really, really
Isn't it
close.
a crazy feeling, guys, though, if you're fortunate to get in that position where you're leading the last lap? It's the moment you fear the most, but the moment you cherish the most, right?
Yep.
Like everything you dream of is to be you want to be arm out the window doing it by 8 seconds. You've had a few of them. But you go to be a part of like the biggest prize in our sport under the greatest pressure. That's everything you dream of. As long as you come out on top, the thought of, not getting it and being so close hurts a lot. And I think we can all vouch for that. Yeah,
that's the sport. I mean, to quote the great crew chief in Days of Thunder, Harry Hogg, that's it. That's what it's all about. That when you are 5 to go at Bathurst, you and one other car going at it, absolutely hammer and tongs, driving the car to the maximum, not even looking at the dash, not even looking in the mirrors. Like that last lap when Lowndes was chasing me in 2011, I looked in the mirror once. And that's where I knew.
He had a speed advantage on
I
you
knew
too.
where he was faster than me. I looked in the mirror once to make sure I had him covered. And then after that, I didn't look. Because it was just like, if I do my job properly and put the car where I need to put my car, I should be able to get the job done. So that's the sport. And that's why Bathurst, I think everyone goes, why is Bathurst so special? That stuff there, that's why Bathurst is so special.
Brings out the big moments for sure.
Yeah.
How are those moments when you're nice and relaxed and you know someone's quicker, but you've got them covered in that key spot, like you just touched on GT, where it might be leading to a passing opportunity. And you might have done 30 laps where you just, I know if I prop it here, get a good exit, you get that 3 car lengths, you're pretty sort of relaxed. Although you're under the pump, you feel in control. Yep. And then there's that one lap where they've got it close in your one comfort spot. And it's just like,
Oh, don't worry. There was moments in that race GT was talking about that I could have shoved it up the inside, but I don't think either one of us would have come out the other end.
No, it was first or gravel track.
No, it was that one too. I turned in once going, well, I'm turning in here. If we crash, we crash.
All right, I'll give you an easy one then from Alex. Who inspired you to get into motorsport?
You looking at me again?
Yeah, I'm looking at you because you keep throwing it to me.
Yeah, no, you've got to answer this one first, Will. No deferring.
Well, that's easy. I mean, I suppose I put it down to family because I suppose it wouldn't be on this planet without your family, and the passion comes from my dad, from my brother, from my grandfather.
Motor racing dynasty, the Davisons.
Yeah.
Motor racing dynasty.
So I suppose it's just natural.
Royalty.
Yeah, I was just obsessed with it, but for the right reasons, I like to say. I think we just enjoyed watching Grand Prix as a kid, Bathurst with my dad, and it has to be a natural love, though. I mean, you can love a sport and not want to do it. But then I think from very early on, I just got the bug. Sitting in front of the telly with race gear on, watching Bathurst Formula One laps. You're just obsessed with it. And go-karting as a kid, which we can probably all vouch for, that should mean as much winning that club day as winning the Bathurst 1000. At that moment as a kid, because you're not doing it for anything else but to win. And the thrill of driving. So people, like, if they ask, how do I get to, Formula One or supercars, I think there's a rocky road that between where you are as a kid and there, if you explain it, it's a very rocky road. But it's not rocky when you're doing what you love and you're just crawling over hot glass to get to that next step, right?
But you're also, somewhat different to others because you had your brother, Alex, was also a racer. It's almost like the Callies. You got 2 brothers.
The older brothers, I think, get all the mistakes out of the way and drive all the bad Formula Fords. And then by the time I get in, I'm just like, this is
you had a good Formula Ford, Wilbur. You had a very good Formula Ford.
No, I had the good Formula Ford. I think Alex had a few lemons before I got there, but not your one. Yours was his first good one, that beautiful 95 VD, which still not for sale, GT, but
No, I'll get it. Don't worry, I'm going to get it one day. I'm going to get your old man at a weak moment.
I was going to say, your dad still got it.
He races it. Victorian
filling full of reds, I'll get him.
He's very proud of that one still. At 71, I'll give it to him. He did race at Goodwood last week in a Lotus 18 in the revival.
Oh.
In a Dan Gurney 1960 Grand Prix car. Dad ticked off a childhood dream as
That's
doing the
cool.
Goodwood revival. So he was packing
Yeah, that's
himself.
cool.
But
See?
it was wet.
racing
Can you imagine
royalty.
driving that thing in the wet at a circuit? You don't know. But he brought it back with all 4 wheels. How'd you go? All 4 wheels were pointing in the one direction. Objective.
Good job.
You guys?
Yeah, same. It was my dad, my family. My dad never drove, but worked on race cars as sort of a hobby. There was always a race car in the shed at home, and I think got the go-kart at 8, and that was it. Still haven't stopped. So yeah, I mean that, and the like you will. It was like, winning the club day or winning that open meeting or winning your first state championship was like when you were 11 or 12 years old was like the biggest thing in the world. It was like bigger than winning Bathurst. So, it's very, very similar.
And Frosty
We
is
used to
just
race
like,
each
you
other
can
a bit,
buy,
didn't we,
buy a
Will,
copy
but
of my
back in-
book now. To answer that question. I'm looking
Back
forward
in
to
the day,
reading that.
Wilbur, remember those little 11-year-old, 12-year-old races
well,
back
you
in
were
the day?
king, Frosty. I remember if you went interstate, being a Victorian, you'd go to like New South Wales and you'd just see this bloke winning by like a lap. And this Mark Winterbottom at the Nationals,
Mark
96. I just remember some
And then
of
I'd sell my engine to Dumbrell or something, and that'd
that's
fund my
when we
year.
moved on
So.
to junior inter and stuff, wasn't it? But I remember the early days of Junior National Light and stuff. Some of your victories at the Nationals. I was a couple of years, maybe a year or two behind in rookies, but your dominance. I just remember going, who is this alien? 41 with that Simpson Super Show, the shark with that helmet.
I still got it.
He came over to WA once. I don't know if you remember this. It was a street race down at Bunbury, and you were racing an all-cart factory driver.
That's right,
And my
all-cart,
brother was in that race. And I said to him, man, just fix this guy. Just fix him up. Don't have anyone from the East Coast come over to WA and beat you. Just fix him up. And I don't think he was fast enough to get to your rear bumper.
I remember that race because I remember they used to give us T-shirts back in the day. They'd give you a team shirt, and I had an all-cart shirt. And I opened a tomato sauce and spilled it on my brand new shirt. I was shattered. I remember Bunbury, not for crashing into people, for spilling tomato sauce on my factory all-cart T-shirt.
You sound
10%
like
off, full
my son.
sponsor.
Actually, this one's for you, Frosty. It's from Lockie. Who's your favourite Tigford Super 2 driver?
Wouldn't happen to be Lockie Dalton, would it?
I don't know. That's just the question.
No. Craig.
Can't
Who's
have
it
favourites
from?
when there's
Who's it
4 of
from?
them, mate.
From
Can't have-
Lockie.
It's from
Lockie
from
Dalton.
From Lockie Dalton.
Yeah, Lockie Dalton.
No, he's a good kid, Lockie. He's a very, very beautiful young man. But they're all good kids. I'm lucky. I've got 4 really good, young, respectable guys to work with. It's actually a lot of fun, and I think it gives you a purpose when you finish. Like it's really nice. These young guys, they're trying to become the next, whatever, Will Davison, Lowndes, whatever, in the sport, and they'll do anything to get there. But I don't remember. I don't know, us at that age, we were like on a mission. These guys are so respectful and nice and polite. And they're all working together. Like
I think you just got
remember,
2
it was
nice
a
ones
bit
down
dog-eat-dog.
there.
Yeah, but it's dog-eat-dog to get in. But these guys are working together really well.
Yep.
Their first 4 in the championship, they're doing a really good job. So that is going to be from Lockie Dalton, I'd say. And he knows. But no, I'm joking. They're all good. They're all good. Very lucky.
Favourite's the one that's winning. That's your favourite.
Yeah, or giving you the least headaches.
Yeah, well, they're usually winning. If they're winning, they're like, yeah, I've got
But
this.
attitude's a big thing at
But
that
then-
age, isn't it, Frosty? Are you sort of looking for that now, being the mentor? Because there's so many fast
What is it,
kids.
mate?
I'm just saying attitude, right? Like there's so many fast kids now. But I think it looks very tricky to take that step now. Like from Super 2, they're all pretty qualified
It
with
is.
simulation. The equipment's much closer in that field now. So what gets them to that next step is probably, I'm sure it's what you're looking at and working with them and enjoying is who's got the right attitude.
They're all
to
fast.
learn
They're
from
fast.
errors.
Like
and-
they're very fast. They just get it. They just understand it, but they come ready. And I think guys like it's really important. Matt Payne was the perfect one, and I'm a big fan of him. But he gets 21 years old. He's done what we took 15 years to it. Like the experience they've got. So you look at Roland Gray, you look at Lockie, you look at Nash, Ruben. They're all racing multiple categories. So. On our weekends off, we had no money as well. So you'd race Super 2, you'd do 6 rounds a year, you'd get a couple of test drives in a main car and whatever. But they go Super 2, next week they go GT4, then they go GT3, then they go back to a Super 2 test. Then they're in the car 25 weekends of the year. You know, it's pretty full on. So by the age of 21, they've done 3 full, genuine years of racing that took us 10 years to tick off the same amount. So
I would have been lucky to have done 20 Formula Ford races total before I drive a supercar.
Yeah, but they drive everything. Then they go and teach. They do driver days with people. They're in the car a lot. So they're comfortable. So when they turn up, they're not rusty. They turn up and lap 1, they're on it. So we're making setup changes after the first session. Remember Super 2 for us, like, I don't know, back in the day, like you'd literally, first session, can you just let me get up to speed? And then next outing, don't touch anything yet. I think it's mean. Like, it would take, but now, lap 1, they're literally brake marker, bang, simulation, and just being in the car so much. They're very, very good. So it's a generation shift for sure, seeing these young blokes come through.
Yeah, but it's also a good time of the champ or the series and the category at the moment. Like, you're just talking about that, Frosty. Like, you know, when we all went through it, like, you just struggled to do race miles. Like, GT's doing a great program with the Groves racing. You're doing it with Super 2. You know, I'm enjoying doing the stuff with the wild card. So it's great that you've got this, like, I suppose the older generation drivers still giving back to the sport and helping that next generation come through.
100%.
Who's your wild card next year, Lowndesy? Have you got a scoop?
Who
Me.
Are you going to run? You're with
It'll be me.
Team 18, isn't it? You're
Yeah,
Team 18.
what's your
It'll be
scoop? It's
Team
a
18
great
of
place
me.
to announce it.
Yeah, well, you know, you're going to need another co-driver next year. Zach will be doing something different.
Who's been ringing you a lot?
Yeah.
Who's been texting you asking how you been? And
No, actually, no one. That's the interesting thing.
Well,
like,
they're all useless then, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So we haven't taught them
That's
too
a
well.
good point, Garth. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't wait for the phone to ring, right? That's rule number 1.
who you got?
I reckon I know. Jared Hughes will be with him next year.
Jared Hughes.
Yeah, yeah.
No, he didn't flinch. It's not Jared Hughes. Go Wilbur, throw one at him. You're next to him.
I don't know. Yeah. Nash. There we go. Nash. He's super
Nash.
cheap. Isn't he?
Well, that was a reaction. That's a bit. That was something.
That'd be interesting. Nash is actually, like you're saying, driving everything at the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. Stay tuned.
All right, I've got one here from James. We've got time. Okay, so this is more to you guys. So more the co-drivers, and Frosty, this will be your first time experiencing this. But after so many years, you know, driving to the end, to the flag, the 1,000, you know, what does it feel like watching someone else do those sprints to the finish, those last stints?
Bloody nervous, I can tell you. I think, my opinion is that you're much more calmer and confident in the car because you know what's going on. Like you said, like with 5 laps to go, you're listening and you're feeling everything that's going on in the car, and you're sort of in your own mindset. You know you got 5 laps remaining. You know where the tyres are at. You know where the car's at. You're standing in the garage. You're pacing because you don't know. Yeah. And I've got to say, Zach doesn't do a lot of talking on the radio, so you don't get a lot of feedback. So you get this sort of like, no, it's all good. Yeah, but is it all good, or is there something going on in the car that we just don't know? So being in the garage for me is much worse.
It was weird. I went and got changed. I jumped out. I went and got changed.
Rookie.
I know.
Rookie. He had no faith in in Cam. He was going to put it on the podium.
I just didn't know what to do. I got changed, and then I went in and I got some food, and I sat back down, and there was like 45 laps to go. And then I'm like, well, what do I do now? So then I walked back in, put my suit back on, come back in.
Good on you, Garth.
Sat down and then I had 30 laps to go. I forgot that moment. But it is a big shift, you know, like you just, it's different. It's very different. Yeah. But starting the race was cool. I really enjoyed that. But I think the Saturday is one of the biggest differences where, you know, building up for qualifying and getting in that moment. Because when you go to Bathurst or when you go to Tail and Bend, you drive the car as the main for speed. Like you get that tyre run, multiple tyre runs. You would have done 2 or 3 green tyre runs in practice. And you're built for speed. And then you go into the truck, you lead the setup direction, you push the narrative and so on. But when you co-drive, you go in trying to listen to the main guy, support him because end of the day, he does the biggest bulk of the stint. He wins the race. So it's a different mind shift, not just the race, but the whole weekend of what role it is and not trying to play the senior role. You're actually playing the supportive role. So I found the whole weekend different, to be honest, Wilbur. But it's really enjoyable. When you're with a guy who's a friend who's very switched on as well, it's actually quite enjoyable to sit back and not feel that, not pressure, but that responsibility. It's actually quite nice to see someone lead. And Cam actually, surprisingly, does he's a leader. And I haven't seen that from him because 6 years ago I left the team and he was the younger guy. He leads the team very well. So it was really cool to see him kind of, go from the kid to the adult and really lead that team. And the whole weekend's different. It's a really weird feeling.
He's a good Cam's good operator, isn't he? I remember 2020 when I was out that year, but we've both had a second next to Cam in a monster suit, Frosty. But yeah, I really enjoyed my weekend with Cam. It's the last time I've done it in a while, obviously being the co-driver role. But he's calm, he's chill, isn't he? He's an impressive operator that weekend.
Pushes when he has to and chilled when he has to. But even that group, it was nice to work with that group again. You know, like you just go in there, it's the same people and. Oh, it's just nice. It's different. But what about you, Garth? What do you find for the weekend?
Oh, no, mine was a bit different. When I first went co-driving, I was with Shane. So I just basically very much complimentary, just I'll do whatever you need me to do, work on the race car. And then year 2, he's going, man, you just set the race car up. I'll worry about the qualifying car. You do the race car.
That's because you went out and did a 204.
No, that was the last year. That was the last year.
I remember that very well. You rolled out lap 1, 204.1 or something.
Garth just cruising and co-driving.
Yeah, it's just cruising to a race run.
Yeah, just doing a race run. Yeah. So, but it's different now, obviously, with Matt. So last year with Matt, I probably led more of the setup stuff because it was, he's still very young and all the rest of it. Whereas this year, it was very much, man, it's your show. You lead the setup. And I'll help you where I can, and I'll in my sessions I'll work on what we need to work on. But it's your show, and it's sort of very similar to what you were doing with Cam. So, you can't. I mean, I guess as an experienced co-driver, you can't come in with the young guys. And Cam's not a young guy, so it's a bit different for you, Frosty. But for me with Matt, you can't come in and go, well, this is how I used to do it, and we're going to do it like this, because there's no potential for growth for them there as a young driver to continue to develop their skill set. So every now and then I was like, just consider this. But ultimately the final decision's yours. But just consider this in your thinking. So that's probably more my role now.